I cried yesterday.
Yeah, you're not the inspiration for this video, but what's up, everybody? Welcome to Daily Refinement. On Wednesdays, we do the live coaching call on YouTube. So yeah, today I want to talk about what causes people to complain and how to fix it, how to stay on track. And we want to talk about metrics. So let's talk about this as an example. I'm going to get together with Cheryl and put together a how I'm going to do taxes monthly, because normally I do taxes at the end of the year, but I will do it monthly now. And I want to use this form from eBay. It's the Seller Hub Report Summary. So this is the October. This is the third month for Reseller Nirvana, 15,000 in sales, right? If you look at the refunds, I had $389 in refunds. That's more than most people, right? I don't care. It's such a, if you do the calculation, it's 2% of my sales. It doesn't matter. Okay. But people spend so much time worrying about returns when it doesn't matter. Unless you do a bad job and your returns are really, really, really high, then you need to think about your process to prevent returns. But the return amount is so small that you shouldn't have to worry about that. Now, I don't understand the shipping label thing because I printed every single label from eBay. So I don't know why it's only $52. Does this mean this is from, I'm assuming this is because this is FedEx? Must be. So Tim in the group wanted to talk about metrics today. This number right here is what the IRS will charge you for taxes if you don't subtract your costs. Okay, so eBay is going to report that in October 2021, I made $15,022.74 in the store. So I think it's important for people to understand the net. The only thing it has subtracted is the refunds and the total shipping labels. Now, eBay also has this other kind of report, which is the full summary, which is insane. If you download the full statement, it's already downloaded, but it goes over line by line every single transaction, which is crazy. It's like hundreds of pages if you guys want to look through. But I recommend, if you're going to do that, go to the payments page and read the all transactions. So if you really, really, really want to learn eBay, if you come in here and look, okay, I paid 11 cents in ads for this Liverpool jeans, pair of jeans. Let's see here. So you can do the math. I got $19.38 for this pair of jeans. $2.68 was the fee, which I want to talk about this. Most people don't know this. Right here, it says the fee is based on $20.34, but I only received $19.38. So eBay charges you the fee on the full amount, including taxes. And if it's international, they charge even more. So just make sure that you're cognizant of that. So I have $16.70 left before shipping. So this is going to be shipping first class. I'm sorry, priority mail. So priority mail, because I don't have top rated seller yet, is $8.15. So I only have $8.55 left before cost of goods for profit. It's not much. So you got to really watch your costs and fees, because it's really important. Okay. So today we're going to talk about staying on track. This is Catherine's idea. How do you stay on track? For me, I would say everyone's production needs to be double. That's how you do it. So if you can do 100 listings in a day and that's your capacity, and you have 8 hours to work on eBay, if you have all the other family stuff built in and you're in charge of household duties, you're in charge of taking care of an elderly parent, if you have that in your schedule, you have to schedule that in. You have to do it so that it fits. My schedule is 90% uninterrupted, but it's by design. It's not naturally like that. So I think it's really, really, really important to come up with the schedule. And when things happen, like yesterday, Jen had an issue with her storage unit. That's probably happened to me 10 times this year, and it never affected me. Doesn't matter. Go do something else and come back and ship later. If your packages are shipped that day or late that day because your storage unit couldn't let you in because of a payment issue or a gate. This is in my storage unit, the gate broke. So no one could even enter the storage unit. But it doesn't matter. It's like it's only one out of a huge amount of time. Little things keep ruining people's days. It would take a lot to ruin my day because there's just so much stuff to do. You could be listing, shipping, cleaning, prepping, getting new sourcing people. It's such a small thing that ruins people's day. Catherine?
Yeah, I had a couple of days where my husband's car broke down. We got a new dog.
Yeah.
The printer stopped working. And I wasn't feeling good because I'd gotten a booster shot. But I kept working anyway because I'm my own boss. I could go tow my husband's car. I could take time to let my dog out. I didn't have to ask anybody. I could work later or earlier to still get my work done because I didn't have to ask anybody. It was at first I was annoyed, like all these things were interrupting my day.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was like, but I can do that. I can allow for those life moments that get in the way because I have 24 hours and it's all mine.
Does that empower you?
Oh yeah, hugely.
Okay.
It
That
helps me form a better schedule because um, I don't want to waste any of that time so that when things interrupt, I'm still getting my work done.
that's like music to my ears. I hope everyone in the group has that mentality that if something screws up your day, you just fix it after that. There's nothing else you can do. And the reason why I was so butthurt by the book, the Midnight Library, is because the main character, she gets these different lives, and I'm like, drop me in any one of those lives, and I'll kill it. I don't care. Drop me in the life where my spouse leaves me and cheats on me. That's fine. Drop me in a life where some tragic thing happens to my family member. That's fine. It's the same. I'll just try to make the best of it. She is miserable in every single life. And I'm like, then that's not the life. That's you. That's on you if you're miserable in every single life. So it is, it's so powerful to be like, you know what? Try it. Take all my money away, take all my relationships away. I'll be fine. Then think about all these little things that don't matter because what could be more tragic than losing your health? You have only 100 days left to live. Something like that is totally catastrophic. You getting a return is not catastrophic. So I love that, Catherine.
I remember the stress of like, if my car broke down, I remember the stress of having
Yeah.
to call my principal and my other team teachers and saying, can you open my door? Can you make sure the kids are doing something? I'm going to be late. And I don't have that stress now. My car, my husband's car breaks down. I go and tow it back.
Yeah.
No
It's
stress.
it's really empowering. I love it. And then being able to do eBay to the level where you have an emergency fund and something happens, you can just drop everything and go. You can turn like you need to get your defect rate so low that let's say Cheryl said that her stepdaughter went into labor in the middle of the night. So guess what? If your store is killing it and you don't do anything for 2 days, right? And you come back after 2 days and tell your customers, hey, I had you have your draft bank set up. So you launch whatever you were gonna launch the 2 days that you're in labor with your kid or your stepchild, and you go there, and 2 days later you come back and you're like, I'm really sorry. I had to go into the hospital for a couple of days. I'll get your order out today. I'm sorry that it's late. eBay is not going to suspend you for 2 days of doing nothing. It doesn't matter if you've done a good job all year. They're not going to turn you off. It's
And one
not
more thing,
good.
I was so happy about having this job and having that flexibility that I was carrying a bin down into my basement and I was singing to myself and kind of like skipping down the stairs. Well, I, I I should know better. I'm so unathletic. So I twisted my ankle. That was another thing that happened. But I didn't care because I was like, okay, you should know not to skip, first of all. That was stupid. But I was just so happy that, like, it doesn't matter. I have this job, I'm in charge.
Yeah, you can do your job anytime. That's great. Imagine if you had a job where if you don't show up, you can't get paid. This job you can work throughout the night to get your listing goal up, and it really is empowering. Everyone should be skipping the work every day because you get to work for yourself whenever you want, whatever you want, and you can't have things derail you. That is a um everyone is just their habits, right? And if your habit is reactionary, something happens to you and you react to it, that's a very difficult way to run your eBay business because things happen every day. Every day there's like a little thing that costs me 10, 20, $100, but it's such a small fraction of what happens overall. So yeah, this is a great topic. Don't get derailed. Also, for everyone in the chat, in YouTube land, please put something in the chat that improved you over this week or yesterday or today. What improved your store? I'll give you guys an example. I used to have a PO box for YouTube, and everything would go there, and then I would go pick it up once a week. And so what I was doing is on returns, I would just check it all on Friday, and if the item arrived before Friday to avoid the defect, I would just refund the buyer anyway without checking the item. But now I had it changed, so my storage unit is the recipient of my mail, and most storage units can do that. So your PO box number is your storage unit number. I gave them the code to my locker because you can give them the code and they'll put it in there, or you can give them a key if you have a key lock, and they'll handle it for you. And it's actually cheaper for me to do the storage unit versus the post office box. The post office box for me was $750 a year because there's a lot of stuff coming in from when people from YouTube send me random things they found at the thrift store. That started to become a problem. So anyway, now that I don't have a storage limit with my storage unit, that will save me money. But the post office box sometimes would destroy me. Like, because when I did I asked people to send me children's books for my baby, and that was awesome. But I got like 500 books. So, and my post office box would charge me for the storage space. So anyway, the improvement was my storage unit takes it, puts it into the area. Also, reminder for everyone, it's kind of late, but if you haven't ordered your supplies yet for December, please take a second, go to the USPS postal site and order some more supplies because it's about to get busy. Also, you can just call 1-800-ASK-USPS, and you can just order your supplies that way as well. Royal is ending and selling listings older than 9 months. I do recommend that if you have old listings, then go in there and do whatever you can, end it, delist it, improve it. I wouldn't just end and relist or end and sell similar. I would actually improve the listing, because it's like I don't think the term putting lipstick on a pig applies here, but you're not changing the listing if you just end and sell similar. You should make it better. Silver Bushman hasn't listed for 2 weeks and sales are down, but still getting sales every day. I could do that, but I don't recommend doing that because you're just sort of you're stealing from your future. When you don't list for 2 weeks and you just reap what you've sown in the past, that's like spending your retirement account. Don't do that. Just keep pumping money or pumping listings and money into your store with a draft bank. Okay, let's see. Improvement this week. JD is getting a dry erase board. I like that. I have a little mini dry erase board on my desk at work, and I just write down how many listings go up that day. So pretty straightforward. Catherine went through all 2,000 of her listings to make sure they were the best she could be. That's fantastic. Let's see.
Yeah, I got
Go
a
ahead.
big dry erase board. Can you see it?
Yeah, that's great. Hold on a second. Let me spotlight that. Go
And
ahead.
check. My wife did vinyls on it too.
Wow.
Yeah.
That reminds that's like a sales board at work.
Yeah. So then I got my little notes on it, and then like what I'm doing every day and how many I want to draft, which yesterday obviously sucked because I was sick yesterday. So.
Is that a lotto ticket?
Yeah, it's my lotto tickets.
That's great. So is that a reward for when you get your work done, or how does that work? Why are
What's
those
that?
there? The lotto
What, the
ticket.
lottos?
Yeah.
I get lotto once a week.
Okay. I think
Gonna
that's
waste money on something, so
I think it's if you like, I would tie, since you do that every week, I would tie that into some kind of reward. You know, just like do X amount, maybe get an extra lotto ticket. I
well,
think it has a good effect on some people.
my reward is if I meet all my listing goals, then I get to go to my next tattoo appointment. If I don't, then I have to cancel it.
I got you.
That's a weird reward, but it works for me.
I love it. Kevin, do you have a question?
Yeah, more of a comment you said about old inventory.
Yeah.
When I first started, I was doing home goods and hard goods and stuff like that, and it sold horribly. And it's just taking up space in my apartment. Obviously, I didn't know how to sell it, so that's part of the reason. And now I'm doing clothing. And I found out that my neighbor downstairs is also an eBay seller, and he's trying to move to hard goods and home goods, and he has a bunch of old clothing. So what we're going to do is we're going to get together and, oh, sorry. Yep. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get together with all of our stuff, and we're going to see what we can switch and trade. So that way we can, delist our old stuff and switch and relist as new stuff on our separate site. So just one way to get rid of old stuff if you know anybody else that sells eBay.
That's interesting. Yeah, I thought about sending all my shoes to Isaiah because he was selling in the shoe category and I'm done. But I decided I'll just list them myself. But if you can trade with another reseller, that's great too. Also, after listing 187 shoes this week, I don't want to do shoes anymore. I realize I don't like it. I like shoes, but not selling shoes as much. Kind of takes the fun out of it for me having to sell it. Because I like looking at shoes, I like wearing shoes, I like talking about shoes, but listing shoes kind of sucks because this is why it actually is a lot of prep because I want the shoes to all look the same. So it requires staging, and staging a pair of shoes takes a long time. You have to do the laces. You have to make sure the shape looks right. You have to clean the shoe. You have to wipe off any dirt. And I don't have any of those tools because I don't have a shoe cleaning station. So I love it, but I don't. And also, I'm going to show you guys.
Guys, y'all don't understand how much joy that just brought me. Like, to hear him say those words is just wonderful.
I brought this pair of Barclays home because they're just so dope. But I don't really care anymore. And when I was wearing them, walking around, I'm like, you know what? I honestly don't care. I like looking at shoes, and I could never have enough money in the world to buy all the shoes that I want because there's new shoes that happen every single week. It's just like it would be so time consuming. I at one time had 1,300 pairs of shoes for myself. Right. And it was so time consuming and like a huge, I don't know. I'm not into it, but I'm going to make a merch shirt that says I like shoes more than people because I think that's true. Okay. Let's see. Romanian Mike is saying, how many listings do you normally do in a day? So for me, around 105 right now, but my listing, I was at 280 listings a day earlier in the year. And I would say in our group, the average is probably 20. So 20, and I would say back to the beginning of the call, the capacity of the people in this group is probably 40. Okay, so that means everyone in this group, if you've been listening and you've been in the group for a while, you could do 40 listings a day, provided your day does not get screwed up, right? Because it always does. But now that we all know that your day doesn't go as planned, if your capacity is 40, you can probably consistently do 20. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, at least list like 5 or so a day, though. just because like you listing shoes was an insane motivation whenever I was cleaning shoes. So like do like 5 a day or something like that.
No, I can't do it. I don't like it. I don't like listing shoes. Go ahead.
Do you think that 40 a day is a daily capacity? So if you're working
Yeah,
5 days
that's
a week,
right.
it would be 40,
Yeah. So
not 40 times 7, unless you're working every day of the week, right?
that's right. So when I did an event in Kansas City for fun in 2018. Wow, that's a while ago, 4 years ago now. 250 people came, and of the 250 people, only 3 people listed more than 200 items a week. That's not very many. That's like 1% of people list more than 200 a week, which is 40 a day, which means there is a daily capacity. Nick is right. That's actually a very good term, daily capacity. What could you do in a day if something didn't? Everyone should put that in the chat. What could you do? Let's say you woke up and you had 8 hours to work on eBay. How many could you actually do in the 8-hour period, start to finish? Get the items, prep the items, photo everything, put them all away. That's your daily capacity, and that's what you have to work with. That is your theoretical maximum amount of money you can make in a day. So for me, that would be around 105. 105 listings would be my max. Yeah, because it's 26 an hour is a good pace for me for photographs, and then listing is around the same.
All right. So 40 a day, and maybe you drop 5 days a week, and maybe you drop 25 per week for 7 days, and then you bank like 3 or 4 a week.
Okay, so this is interesting, Nick. So the 200 a day, 200 a week max, this is a really good conversation. The reason why only 3 people listed more than 200 a week is because what probably happened is no one lists over 200 items in a week because that's their full capacity. But in the 250 people who came, I think that most people listed over 100 a week. So only 3 people listed over 200 a week, but like 200 of them listed over 100 a week. These are full-time resellers, right? So that means that their capacity is 200 and they can comfortably do 100. So if you want to be in the above 200 range, you need to comfortably be able to do 400. So there's people in the group right now saying, like Mandy says that she could do 80. So that's 400. So she could probably comfortably do 40 a day if her capacity is 80, because she's also homeschooling. She's also doing household stuff. So got to increase your capacity. And the way to do that is to make your process cleaner, sell in less categories. So for example, somebody in the chat, let's see what they put. They found something at here we go. Chipotle addict found some plates at a yard sale, bought them for 8 and sold them for 380. So for me, that would be a waste of time because I would have to go to the yard sale in the first place. I would have to find that plate. I would have to be talented enough to look up the solds, figure out if my plate was the same plate as the valuable ones, go home, list the plate, which I've never listed before, take all the right angles, research the plate, figure out how to ship the plate without breaking it, which would be, I don't know how to do that currently. So make sure the plate gets there, arrives, and then I'd have to wait to make sure the plate didn't break in transit. And all that time added together is way slower than listing 50 to 100 items in my category, which would make me $500 profit. And I know exactly how to do it. So that kind of, once you realize that selling outside your category is a trap, then your capacity can go over 200 listings a day. I was just looking at Osborne 2 Thrift. Shout out to Osborne 2 Thrift on Instagram. He was talking about just hitting $200,000 in sales this year on eBay. Pretty strong, right? And his capacity is time. He keeps running out of time. And it's really hard to maintain that. He was trying to maintain $1,000 a day in sales. Very, very, very difficult if you look at what he's selling. Even though items like sometimes sell for 500 or 1,000 or 2,000, there are days where he doesn't find that super rare stuff. And also the time it takes to pack, ship, store all those random items is really difficult. So he can make about $100,000 a year, in my opinion, with that model comfortably, because he's very good at listing, very good at storing, very good at shipping, but it's difficult to do more than that. I would be surprised if of the 200,000, he netted more than 100. If he did, kudos. But if he got most of the stuff for free, and if he got it all for free and sold it for 200, he'd probably net like 150, because there's still shipping fees. So it depends on what he paid for it, but very, very impressive being a picker, but that is challenging, much more difficult than what I do. The Double Drop Vintage is asking what he sells. Everything. He's an everything store. Every single thing that's profitable, he sells. Oh, I didn't know that. So his family owns a thrift store. I didn't realize that. That would help you, but I don't know if that would be, that still would be difficult, because if you owned a thrift store and people were donating random things, you could say like, hey, is his name Tim? They would say, you know what, we got this vintage rocking horse today. And he'd be like, sweet, let me look it up. Oh, it's selling for $980 on eBay. Let's do it. But then how do you ship a vintage rocking horse? You know? Silver Bushman says the biggest hurdle for him is researching items. I agree with that. I'm so happy about Nick's comment of daily capacity. That's so important. So important. That's a really, really good term. Let's see. And yeah, when I did the event, every single person was full-time. So that was that's an awesome way to look at it. Romanian Mike is asking, what's better, auction or buy it now? It depends on the item, and how would, his follow-up question is, how would you know which one to do? So I would say if the item has enough demand, like here's an example. If you sold a 9 Inch Nails concert t-shirt, there's probably 300 to 500 searches a day for that shirt. Everybody's looking for it. So if you set it at 1 penny, I wouldn't be scared to do no reserve, because let's say the shirt's worth between $80 and $150. You could do auction and it would probably end between $80 and $150. But if you were worried, you could do $159.99 best offer and accept an offer. I would only use auction really for really, really rare items, because you might get 2 people who really want it and they'll bid really high. So it just depends. I guess knowing your category would be huge. I think so. There's a lot of people who listen to my channel from the UK. If I lived in the UK, maybe if I could convince my wife, my theoretical wife, if I lived in the UK, to go picking with me, maybe I would do the everything store, because in the UK there's a lot of old stuff. It's much older than the US and it's more interesting. So you could go into the history of all the crazy finds you could find in the UK and be an everything store. And maybe you could balance making some money with treasure hunting. But here in the US, where I live, everything is modern. So it depends on where you live. I sell modern clothing. Tech and Sports sells vintage clothing. I would have to redo my processes if I was looking for vintage clothing, because it's a different demographic here. Melanie says, do I take a day off? I never take a day off, but I live every single day how I want to live it. So even when I'm on vacation, I'm still working. That's part of it. Because I want every single thing. I want all the money. I want all the relationships. I want all the health. To get all of that, I have to work all the time. If you want the best relationships, you've got to do that. You've got to wake up in the morning, unload the dishwasher like me. So that's one more upvote in husband of the year, right? So if you keep doing upvotes all day, 24/7, 365 days a year, you'll be highly rated, right? So also it's important that both people in the relationship do that. If my wife wanted to replace me, it would take like 24 hours. Line of men ready to just take my place. Okay. Got to both be like that. Otherwise it doesn't work. You want to be with your partner because you're the best option. You don't have to worry about your relationship falling apart if you're the best option. Let's see here. Tech does all vintage. She doesn't do all vintage. He'll pick up modern if it's in the bucket, but he's one of the best, if not the best, vintage seller ever. Let's see. Simperfee mostly sells in one area, but 20% of the off and higher off items. See, I used to do that, but now I realize that me selling the expensive stuff is literally just for fun. It's not a business. Let's see. Hi from Scott. Romanian Mike says he feels like he would have more motivation if someone were helping him or with him. So full disclosure, yesterday when I was photographing 187 pairs of shoes, it sucked. I already know it sucks because it's a lot of adjusting when you sell shoes because they're all different, right? So I hired my friend to come with me. And what I had him do is pack the items in the plastic when I was done. I had him stuff the shoes while I was waiting, and I had him put them away for me while I was doing it. And I was taking the photographs. That's the only part that I like about shoes is looking at them. So I don't mind photographing it, but putting it away and all that stuff sucks. So doing it alone really sucks. So instead of spreading out the listing through a long time, I decided to do it all in one day. So I was going to do it on Monday, but on Monday it rained. So, and I wanted to take my pictures outside. So Juan with the $5 super chat, I appreciate it. He's changed his mindset from hobby to business. I love it. Figgy says she thought I like shoes. I like shoes. I just don't want to sell them. Gina wants to do the automatic 5% off per week. Oh, so if you're a hobby store, eBay gives you the option to do the 5% off simple tool where they lower your auction until it sells. I don't recommend you do that if you're a professional seller because that's a super lazy way to run your store. Like if you have an item that's worth $100, it'll be $5 cheaper until it sells. But if you know what you're selling, you don't need to do that. Let's see. How, with regards to the health of our item store on eBay, how do we translate the ratio? Okay, this is a good question. Let's look at it. All right. So let's look at the performance tab. So somebody is asking, how do you translate this page? This is a lot of numbers. If you go to eBay, click the performance, go to the traffic tab and look at this. So depends on what you sell. For me, I want 0.3 and 2%. How do I translate this? This is okay. This is how you do it. If you want more impressions, this is the beginning part of the funnel. Okay, impressions are, let's show you guys what an impression is. It's always good to review this. Okay, right now, these 8 items just got 1 impression. So that's 8 impressions, right? So when you go to eBay, this number right here is this, just what happens when people browse through your store or they see your listing on, if I search for, let's see, Orvis XXL. Let's see if I can find this item. Orvis XXL jacket. Let me see if I can get, yeah, let me see if I can copy and paste the title. I'll cheat. Okay, this is great. So there's going to be 2 ways people give you impressions. Either they search for it and they see it. So here's the jacket that I have in my regular store. So they see this, 1 impression. Or right here, they're scrolling through your store and they see it, 1 impression. That's what this means. But you can't buy anything with impressions, right? Doesn't matter. Can't take impressions to the bank. Views are when people click on it. So they see my listing, boom, click on it. Now that's a view. So impressions when they see it, views when they click on it. Now, how many people actually buy it? So in the last month, I had 41,421 views and 875 people bought something. This is where these numbers come from. If you divide 875 by 41,421, you get this number right here. The 0.3 is how many people click after they see your item on eBay. So there is only one way to increase this impression number. Do you guys know what it is? I'll put it, you guys, if you know what it is, throw it in the chat. There's only one way to increase your impression number. What do you guys think? Yeah, it's listing more. That's it. The only way to increase your impressions is to list more items. That's all. So that's why people, they don't like that answer. So they go to YouTube looking for a different answer. They think it's something different, like list, delist, sell similar, delete the eBay app off your phone and then re-download it. Go into a Facebook group and complain. None of those things work. Only listing more items increases that. That's it. Let's see. Nick just did a markdown on the aged inventory by 30%. That's great. That's great. Promotion, actually, that is true. You could promote your listings and you would get more impressions. That's true. But I don't want people to rely on that. Let's see.
And it's expensive to do the promotions. I mean, my numbers are up, but the amount that I'm spending on promotions and fees is a lot more than I expected. So I need better organic traffic to start. And that's, like you said, probably only through listing more.
I'm going to put this. So Melissa had just asked how to get the calendar for the group. So I'm going to show you guys real quick. This is the calendar for coaching this month. Let me make it big. I'll include a, what I want people to also do. So this is customizable. I'll send this to you guys and then you can delete or add your own stuff to the schedule and you can just post it. This is 4x6. So just print it on your label printer for the schedule this week. So I do coaching every day. Then the shoe calls on Tuesday, toy calls on Monday. We're going to try the book call. I'll add this right now on Thursday with Jared. So Jared books, or we'll do media call, 7 p.m. Okay. So, whoops. People wanted the media call, so we're going to add that. All right. So this is the schedule, but what I want you guys to do is you can actually add stuff to it. So let's say this will be customizable for everyone. I'll include the link right now, and you can add in your listing goal and some notes, and that'll be good for the week. Let me get this for everyone. Okay. So those of you in YouTube land, let me give you the link also. You can look at the schedule, but you can't join unless you're in the Patreon. Okay. Eric, what's your question?
What?
We'll come back. Silver Bush is asking, are promotions a write-off? They are. Promotions are a write. Every single thing that costs money on eBay is a write-off. There's no, is there anything that there's nothing related to eBay that's not a write-off. There's also only one thing that is not taxable, and that's cash back. And I don't know why. I know what the IRS says. The IRS says that if you spend $100 and you get $1 or $2 back on your cash back, that it's considered a discount. And so it's not taxable, but I don't understand why not. Why wouldn't it be a $1 deduction from your cost of goods? And that means you have $1 less to tax, or I'm sorry, $1 more to tax. So I don't understand why every single article says that cashback is not taxable. We have Cheryl in the group, but I don't know what the justification is. Let's see. Cheryl says just accept it. Okay, I will just accept it. It's just a lot. Cashback is a big check, and it's just surprised it's not taxable. Wendy's asking, is 5% a reasonable goal? I don't know what. There's too many variables. How does a label printer work with eBay? It's the same as any printer. You just have to adjust the printer paper settings. So Beck says she's in everything store. She just hit 15K for her 90 days. Okay. Beck started with nothing in April and they want to get in the clothes. Is that the best way to learn to grind at the thrift store? Yes. The best way is to grind at the thrift store. The best way is to grind in general. You need to figure out, but I'll tell you what to grind on. Okay. I'll tell you how to do it. So this new store that I started is now, maybe 95 days old. The last 30 days is at 19,209. So today I'll cross over into 20,000 a month starting today in the new store. So I'll show you how to grind. You go to your thrift store and you look around and see what's available to you. So for me, where I live, this is the kind of stuff I find. Actually, I rarely find Orvis unless it's from Costco. So maybe this is an Orvis jacket that's from Costco. But this is the kind of stuff that I find. Lucky Brand, Bonobos, Ralph Lauren. Who's talking? Let's see. Okay, sorry. Now, J. Crew is so freaking common where I live, but it doesn't sell very well, right? So I'm pricing it at $12.99, but it probably will take a while to sell at $12.99 because there's okay, let's just find out how many shirts there are.
Why do you buy it if it doesn't sell very well?
Because it still sells. There's 80,000 J. Crew shirts, which is a ridiculous amount. And let's look how many sold. 15,000. That is a horrible sell-through rate. So only 5,000 sell out of 80,000. So if you have limited money, do not buy J. Crew because it would take too long for you to get your money back. But for me, I know eventually it's going to sell, so I don't mind buying it because I can wait a year. But if you can't wait a year, don't buy it. Also, I know that I'm going to have to probably do a few different discounts before it sells. But this is what grinding is. Go to the store, look up the item, see how many sold in the last 90 days, how many are available, and you figure out how to do it. So that's over and over and over and over again. Over time, you will figure out what to do. So for me, you could buy a J. Crew shirt for $4. You probably couldn't pay $8 for it. That's too small of a margin. But if you could get J. Crew for $4 on half off day, that's better than the stock market. You could probably turn $4 into $8 over the course of a year, double your money. It does take a long time. If you can get it from the Goodwill bins or a garage sale, then a J. Crew shirt will be $1 or $2. And then start to make $5, $10 for a $1 investment. That's awesome. But you have to do it one by one. Also, there are J. Crew shirts that do not sell at all. And there are J. Crew shirts that sell for $50. So you would need to know which one. So don't listen to this YouTube channel and be like, all J. Crew is awesome. And then go to the thrift store and pay $12.99 for one, go home. And that one's only worth $2. Romanian is saying, what is the one item that I know will sell? Cash at a discount. That's the number one thing that will sell on eBay. Yeah, Romanian is right. That's not something we normally talk on this YouTube channel because it's a cheat code. Romanian Mike says, think about what people type when they search for something. They might type in Versace shirt XL black. If that is so, then your title should be exactly the same. So that is true. And I don't really talk about that on this YouTube channel because I would rather people struggle. No, I'm just kidding. But if you think about it from your customer's point of view, and they type in something they're looking for, right? You type in, I would type in Charles Barkley shoes, size 12. If your title said Charles Barkley shoes, size 12, then I would find your listing. That's how eBay works. Royal says, hearing that I made 20K in a store in 3 months old is super motivating. This store, I think, let's see. I think this month will be, well, I'll hit 20,000 today. By December, it'll hit 30,000. I think by January, it'll hit 40,000. And then that's the cap. It won't go bigger than that until I hire somebody else. Let's see. Should I focus only on eBay? It depends on what you're trying to do. If you're selling women's boots, I would say maybe only sell on Poshmark, because you have the benefit of selling with the flat Posh Post cost up to £5. If you're shipping boots on eBay and that's your only category, that's really a bit challenging, because the returns will be very expensive, because £5 to and from the customer is a lot. If you're only selling heavy items, I would say just sell on Facebook Marketplace, because you want people to come pick it up. Offer free delivery on Facebook Marketplace and you'll probably kill it. So if you're trying to sell clothing and you really knew what you were doing, maybe you would be on Depop, where all the kids shop, and be really on point with the pricing. You know, if you're looking for the platform with the most eyeballs, it's eBay for pre-owned and Amazon for brand new. Oh, no worries, Eric. Let's see. Tyree sold 7 J. Crew items yesterday. See, you could build a 6-figure business on just J. Crew. You wouldn't have a very fast sell-through rate, to be honest, because there's too much of it. There's 80,000 J. Crew shirts for sale and only 5,000 sell per month. Also, let's do this. I want to show you guys. There are 80,000 shirts on eBay, J. Crew shirts. Most of them are horrible. So you can see here, a lot of the people, you can tell by their pictures if they're in our group or not, really, because it's better to have the whole item so you can see the whole thing, in my opinion. So this center one with the gray, I would bet they are in our group. Upstate picker. Measurements in the photos. $4.99 standard shipping. This is my exact description. So somebody just copied my store, right? Nothing wrong with that. I don't care. Although I wish you were a little bit more creative. That's funny. Someone literally stole my exact description. Okay. So, but okay, let me back up for a second, because I didn't quite do it. So scrolling down here, I have a problem as with as a buyer, because it's hard to read. If you go to my store, right? Let's see. Whoops. Let's go to here. If you go to my store, so they have similar pictures to me, although they have kind of the tech and sports model of pictures. But right here, I think this is easier to read, because the text is closer to each other. And I have this, which is the most important, in red. The person who copied me, it's all the same color, so they're missing the most important part, and it's more difficult to read. So nice try, but you can't copy the original, I guess. Okay, so now you'll see like this picture right here. I don't know what the fit is. So this shirt, I might not click on it. So you see this shirt just got an impression from me, but they don't deserve a click. They don't. I'm moving on. So this one though, I do like this one, because why? I can see that it's brand new. So here we go. You see this person is selling a brand new shirt for $19.99. Okay, probably has an MSRP of $80, so 64. Okay. That's awesome. They put it on the scale so that they know the weight. I love it. That's smart.
And they use a photo room or something.
They use photo room to remove to do double contrast. They've got the black and the white background, right? So this is $19.99 for a brand new shirt, right? And if you look at, that's how competitive it is. There's people trying to sell pre-owned ones for $20. Actually, no, $19.99. Let's do this. Let's go over $20. Okay, so 32,974 shirts of the 80,000 will never sell. These will never sell. They're priced too high. So almost half of the shirts on eBay will never sell just because they're priced too high. That is staggering to me, but good for us, right? So everyone that's paying eBay 10 cents, they just made $3,000 on J. Crew shirts every single month, and those people's listings will never sell because they're pricing their pre-owned items higher than new.
So Chris, are you suggesting that the majority of the sales that come from like items that are like flooded, like this J. Crew shirt, the majority of the sales come from experts like you and people in the group who like have great titles, have great this, great that?
100%.
So the sell-through rate might not actually be as bad as it seems. It could be being inflated, well, deflated by those 32,000 items.
That's right. So Alvin is saying J. Crew looks like Ben Sherman or Paul Smith in the UK. Very comparable. Ted Baker too. Ted Baker may be a little bit higher, but here in the States, Ted Baker doesn't sell as well. I'm sure in the UK probably gets a little bit of a premium over Ben Sherman or Paul Smith, but I don't know. That's just based on me looking at the quality of the garment. So that's a good question from Isaiah, because that's why I don't check solds, because just because most of the sellers on eBay are horrible, I don't care about their listings. They don't count because they're priced too high. They have ugly pictures. They have terrible titles, horrible item specifics. They don't accept returns, or they have terms that I don't like. So they don't count, but they keep the lights on for eBay. So I'm grateful for all the people who list items that never sell. Thank you for all those people out there that you spent all of your money on listings that will never sell, because that keeps eBay fees low. Let's see. Kelly says that people in the group, their stuff sells a lot faster. It's true. It's true. I think that Melissa, all the items on the calendar are Pacific Standard Time. Eric is asking, does beating the market have any effect on what I pick? I like $10 and under profit items because I don't care about returns. I get tons of multi-quantity order, and they're easy to find. Like, show me the store. That's what Tech would say. Point us in the direction where you can buy brand new Apple pencils for $15 and sell them for 80. That would be much easier, but that's hard to find those. If you don't know how to price a certain item, should you put it in auction? Definitely not. Definitely not. Unless you like selling items for 1 penny plus shipping, don't do that. Plus, if you don't know how to price it, that means you don't know how to list it. If you don't know how to list it, you won't get all the money. I did 0 auctions for the last 30 days, so not interested in it. Curious how many eBay sellers copying. Oh, how effective is copying eBay sellers? Probably not so effective, because you need to be ready to offer the same terms as me. So if you're trying to price your items like me, you will go out of business because you don't have enough volume or efficiencies to make it work. If you are selling items and okay with $1 to $7 profit and you're just starting, you will never get anywhere. In the beginning, you have to make more profit than that, especially with a limited budget. And I did that in the beginning of this experiment. My minimum profit was $15 because I didn't have any money. So when you don't have any money, you have to make more profit. Thomas says, is QuickBooks still the best to use for accounting? The best version of accounting is whatever works for you and is easy to do. You don't need QuickBooks or any software to do your taxes, to be honest. If you go to irs.gov, they will walk you through it. You can file your own taxes on the government's website. And this is a super pro tip, which I didn't realize. If you call the IRS and ask, they are really, really, really smart. And they know, and it's like they're very, very, very nice. Cheryl, did you have that experience? Have you ever had to call the IRS? There's some like super nice.
Yeah, I've never had an issue.
Yeah.
That's why I say what I do is, you know, if you actually read the tax documents,
yeah,
it's really simple to do your own taxes.
That's right. Yeah, you don't need any complicated software or anything. You can just go to the IRS website, take some time.
And I'll just throw it out there since we're live on YouTube that you know, if you have someone else doing your taxes, you still need to understand what is on there because ultimately they are not responsible. You are.
That's right. So Bruh Trippin is asking if is our course guide an ebook or is it video course based? I will explain our entire course right now in the next 2 minutes, and then we'll call it a day. So the first thing is that you need to pick a category. So, and you need to have an advantage in that category. Otherwise you will go out of business. You have to have an advantage in your category. So for most people, the advantage will come from your ability to list it competitively. So if you find an item and it's worth 100, but you list it at 120, you already lost. You will not be able to sell the item. So you have to be an expert in your category, number one. Number two, you have to prep items before you start photographing and listing. So get good at something, get it ready. When you get to work in the day, photograph them and then list them immediately after. Use a memory card and figure out whatever settings you have to so that you can take a memory card out of whatever device you use to take pictures, plug it into your computer. I'm not going to make tutorials on that because it's too hard. I don't know what your browser is and your computer and what phone or what camera you use. So you could do like Tech and Sports, my partner, buy the Canon ELPH 180. It's really cheap. I think it's under $100 or under $200. Buy a 32 gig memory card. Use a flat lay for clothing or put a flat lay backdrop on a table to do hard goods. Take pictures with as much light as you can in the room and as soft as light as you can. Immediately list the items after you photograph them, same day. Put the items away right after you're done listing them. Ship first thing in the morning. That's it. That's $1,000 course for free in 5 minutes. You don't need you don't need anything more complicated than that. But if you want to spend thousands of dollars on courses, there's plenty of people who are willing to take your money. Tech and I were talking about this. We were trying to put a value on this group. It's probably 20,000. If you did what this group told you to do, I think it would be worth $20,000 a year. But we don't want to charge people $20,000 a year. But imagine you joined this group, you didn't know anything, and the first year you made $100,000 profit. What's that worth? What's that worth to know that? And then just like Catherine, that something can happen to you. You can twist your ankle skipping down the hallway, and then your cat, is choking on something and then spits it out, but the cat looks ill. So you take it to the vet, pick up your kid at school because they were in a fight. Start working at 9 o'clock at night, get your listings done by midnight, go to sleep, still made your money, even though your day was horrible. Your day was a hot mess, but your eBay store is rock solid. What's that worth? I mean, you don't want to challenge fate and be like, bring it on. Whatever horrible obstacle you want to give in my life, give it to me. I'll do well anyway. Don't be like that, but just be grateful for what you have and the ability to do what you want. So appreciate you guys. It's baby time.